So yesterday I uploaded a video talking about my favourite players in FIFA 17. Well, today, as you can tell by the title, it's going to be the players that I don't like so much, that I was expecting a lot from and was let down. The players that I think are just overall pretty disappointing in the game when they probably should have been a lot better. So let's jump straight into it. Just like we did in yesterday's video, we're going to start off with defenders, going through midfielders and then finishing with attackers. So on the bench or the reserves, these are the players that weren't terribly awful, but still pretty disappointing. And in the first 11, you've got the players that really disappointed me. So up first, we've got Juan Fran. Obviously, I just finished the Atletico career mode. I'm not sure if I'm coming back for Season 2 yet. But for me, Juan Fran was a player that I really thought would do well for me, especially in that 3-4-3 formation out on the right side. But as soon as I brought in Cancelo, I realised what I'm missing. And Juan Fran, just very, very disappointing. I don't know what it is. He's got the stats to be a fantastic right back or right wing back, but it just didn't work out for me. Now, I couldn't really think of any left backs in the game that were disappointing, but I could think of another right back, and that was Mario Gaspar. Now, I thought this year he would be really, really good. He's broke into the Spanish national team. You could say he's one of their better right backs, but he is so disappointing for me. I'm not sure what it is. He feels quite clunky. He's a bit bulky, this guy. He's not really, really quick and small, which is what I think you see a lot these days in wing-backs. Mario Gaspar is, I think, actually better as a right-sided centre-back in this game. So, yeah, a little bit disappointed with him. He's not awful, by the way. Just, for me, didn't quite get on with him. And remember, this is about my opinions as well. Feel free to leave your comments below. Moving over to midfielders now, and my first one is Pjanic. Now, this one was tough. I have quite a few midfielders that I've been disappointed with this season, and Pjanic is definitely one of them. I don't know what it is. I think his passing's fantastic, don't get me wrong, but everything else just seemed a little bit off. I don't know if it's just the experiences I've had with him, and obviously I haven't used him too much. Maybe if I used him a little bit more, I'd enjoy him more, but after playing, I think it was 2 seasons with Juventus, just for a bit of fun, Pjanic barely got into the team. He just wasn't very good for me. And it's the same story for Rakitic, really. I love this guy. In real life, I think he's one of the best midfielders in the world. He does everything brilliantly well, but in FIFA 17, just really disappointed with him. And again, I can't quite explain why. When I did my Barcelona career mode, he barely featured. I brought in so many other players that I preferred in his position, and that's normally a pretty bad sign. So Rakitic for me, not the worst of course, but just wasn't quite good enough for me. Didn't enjoy using him. This one was pretty easy though. Pastore, he plays in the wrong position in this game. He really does, in my opinion. I think PSG is the wrong club for him in this game. He might fit in much better in real life, but in terms of FIFA, for me, this guy has to play behind the striker. And with the PSG squad, it doesn't really suit a position like, you know, having a cam behind the striker. They seem to play the 4-3-3 and play it very well. So Pastore for me just doesn't fit in. So I think at any other club he would have performed better for me. But just, again, very disappointed with Pastore. I ended up playing him on that left or right wing just because in the middle it didn't quite work out. Now again, this was another very easy choice. Could have easily made it into the first team if it wasn't for one other player that I was expecting so much from. But Sissoko got his big move. Tottenham signed him for, what, £30 million? Absolutely crazy money after a very good Euros, in fairness. But I again, just think he's in the wrong position. Out on that right mid, he seems to disappear in games. For me, if you play him in centre midfield, kind of like where Pogba plays, oh my God, if you partner this guy up with Pogba, I didn't even think of that. That might be really, really good. But out on that right side, just no. Sissoko doesn't work there for me. And then the last player that's not in the first team, we have Benzema. I've actually been a little bit disappointed with Benzema for many, many years now. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is. Maybe he just doesn't suit my play style, but I just cannot get on with Benzema, and I never have been able to. I thought maybe FIFA 17 would be a little bit better for him because I think it's actually more about physical players that are also quite quick. Benzema is one of those players, if you ask me, but again, just didn't get on with him and didn't like him at all. But now, guys, we're moving into the first 11 and the most disappointing goalkeeper in this game. And I tell you what, there isn't actually too many, if you ask me, but I would go ahead and say Cech. He declines pretty quickly. I think he finished as 84 in my Arsenal career mode after 2 seasons, which is a bit of a shame. And no, it's not because Cech's not having the best of seasons in real life. That's nothing to do with this. I actually found that in the game he just was letting in simple shots, and isn't very quick to react. So for me, Cech is the most disappointing keeper in the game. To make this video work, guys, I've had to go with another 3 at the back formation because, to be honest, I'm not very disappointed with many of the wing backs, but there are quite a few centre backs I didn't like. One of them being Manolas. I know a lot of people like this guy on Ultimate Team. I haven't used him on that. But in career mode, just all pace, nothing else. He doesn't seem to do very well for me. He's rubbish on the ball. Absolutely terrible on the ball. And for me, I like my centre-backs to be pretty good with the ball at their feet. And we have another player that probably would have featured every single year if I did this kind of video. I might do it from now on. But Mascherano, over the years, just for me, has always played as a CDM, not a centre-back. I think having a centre-back that's 5'9", it may work okay in real life, but not in FIFA. You just get destroyed in the air. And Mascherano this year seems to be the worst he's ever been, in my opinion anyway, just not very good at all. Now this one might be a little bit controversial. We have Otamendi. I don't know what it is about Otamendi. I think when you look at his stats, he should be a really good centre-back, but he has been rubbish for me. I tried him in Ultimate Team. You know, you look at his pace, his strength, you think he's going to be really good, but he was just rubbish, absolutely rubbish. And I don't know if that's because there's so many better options out there that are better than him, or if it genuinely is just because he is crap in this game. But another defender that I just could not get on with. Moving up into the midfield now, we have Gomez. Now, when the game came out, he was 84 rated, had 90 potential, and I was super excited to give him a go. And don't get me wrong, he is very good in this game. He's not bad at all, but I was hoping and hyped up that he was going to be so much better, and he just wasn't. I don't know what it is about Gomez, and I think a lot of people will agree with me. He just doesn't seem to fit into that Barcelona team. And for another centre midfielder, we've got Ramsey. Now, in the Arsenal career mode, he was another example of a player that just would not play very often, and when he did, he would be playing out of position. I played him as a cam. I think in the centre midfield, he doesn't really help the team much, especially at CDM as well. And out on the wing, are you kidding me? Ramsey just, again, I don't think he suits the Arsenal squad very much unless you play him behind the striker. And Ramsey was really disappointing. And then we have another Barcelona player. It's Thuram. Really disappointed with this guy in this game. I thought the fact that he's got such good dribbling and the fact he got a position change from a right midfielder to a centre midfielder, I thought he would be really good. One of the better players in the game, actually. But again, didn't get on with him. I found that he was just too clunky. Something not quite right with Thuram made me put him in this team. And then just in front of him, we've got James Rodriguez. This guy would feature every year as well, I think. Every single year, I expect him to be really good, and then I'm let down. He's just not very good in FIFA. It might just be me. It might be that there's loads of you guys that really enjoy using him, but for me, he feels like such an average player. Still, obviously, a very good player in the game, but in terms of hype and, you know, the rating he's got, he's nowhere near as good as he should be. Okay, Messi fanboys, I do apologise if you're upset that Messi is in this team, but hear me out. It's just to do with his position. And remember, it's just an opinion. You might have a different one, and that's fine. But for me, Messi on the right side in this game goes missing. He's not strong enough, and for me, just doesn't do enough. Whereas if you put him at cam or at striker, he does considerably better, but still doesn't play as well as I would expect. That's why Messi is in this team. He should be... Well, technically, he should be the second best player in this game behind Ronaldo, but for me, he doesn't even make it into the top 10. He's still a very good player, but I've already spoken about players being out of position. I think it's fair to say that Messi is not a right winger for me in this game. He has to be in the middle, behind the striker, I would say. Then over to the left side, we have Payet. Yes, I know West Ham fans, you probably hate this guy. He was amazing last season, and this season... Yeah, didn't quite cut it, did he, in the Premier League? He's moved on to Marseille, he's gone back to France, and I think that Payet on the left in this game is wasted. Again, it's the same as Messi. Put him in the middle and he does a lot better, but still, to be honest, very disappointed with Payet in this game. Just not as good as last year, that's for sure. And then finally, guys, we have Jamie Vardy. After last season, you know, Leicester winning the Premier League, Vardy playing so well. Just... I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about Vardy in this game. It might be his work rates. It might be the lack of 4-star skills, 4-star weak foot. It could be that he's kind of like Walcott and he's just pace. So Vardy, for me, is the most disappointing striker in the game. I really thought that he would be very good, especially with his huge upgrade in the summer. But just hasn't turned out to be quite right. And this is the team in full. So you can see this is the formation that I've gone with just to make the players fit. I don't think it's a bad formation at all, by the way. But you've got, Thuram, Rodriguez and Vardy in a row there, Mascherano in the middle. This team would still be amazing, by the way. It probably would win a lot of games. But for me, and of course it is my opinion, these players just don't live up to the hype and they just have not been as good as I expected. But thank you for watching, guys. A little bit of a different video. We're going to be back with some career mode very soon. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.